Welcome. You are at the CCC.
Where there are no outside issues. My name's Anthony. I'm an addict and an alcoholic, another bozo on the bus, and I care about you.
Yes, and I'm LouiLou, and my pronouns are he and him, and I am in recovery for crystal meth and alcohol, and I am always in search of balance.
Balance. My name is Jordan, and I'm an addict, and I'm always trying to make good choices.
Yay! That's not true, though.
I know. And each week we strive to foster a brave space so we can engage in conversations. I know. Centered around topics of recovery.
And our intention is to hold and inspire better spaces for more people in recovery by tackling issues sometimes used to separate us.
But before we do that, please like, share, subscribe, ding that bell.
Ding that bell,
Absolutely.
rate us, but only if it's 5 or more, message us. Another disclaimer, the thoughts and opinions expressed on at the CCC are as long as we do not represent anyone but ourselves. In other words, we're just a couple of friends behind a mic here to entertain you. And of course, everything we talk about is for general information purposes only.
Oh my God! There's a person.
What is it? What is it?
No, there's a person. There's a person at the meeting. There's a person at the meeting. He does this thing where he'll have the reading, and he'll be reading, and he'll be staring up because he wants you to know that he memorized it. And I'm all thinking, that's not a flex. You look like a serial killer.
Yeah.
Blink, honey, blink.
I know, exactly. Besides, it's one thing to memorize, but if you ain't living it.
Yeah. So before we started recording today, we got into a not heated debate about the use of AI.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So someone at our table is really paranoid about AI because
Paranoid is not the right word.
I didn't say it was you. I didn't say it was you.
You just outed yourself.
I didn't say it was you.
Oh my God. Before we get into that, we should introduce our guest.
Oh. Not Jordan. Not Jordan. Remember when Jordan? I remember that time we had Jordan on and we didn't get to him right away.
I know. He's like, once you introduce me,
yeah, we'll get to you.
You need to calm down.
We'll get to you.
I know, exactly.
Yeah, look at Anna just sitting there pretty.
I know, exactly.
Waiting her turn.
You could learn a lot from Anna.
But you coming in here mansplaining.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Okay, we're done. Thank you.
But Anna, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name's Anna. I'm a recovering dope fiend, and I also have mental health issues.
Yay, mental health issues. It's claps. Yay. Come through dual diagnosis.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Are you really living life unless you have 2 problems?
Right?
I know, exactly. It's like,
It ain't good unless it's more than one.
Okay. But yeah, we were talking about AI and how AI can be kind of scary for some people.
It can be really scary, but it can also be really helpful.
Yeah.
It is, and I feel like it also opens a lot of opportunities, but like with everything else, you just have to be very careful.
Moderation. Jordan, what were you going to say?
I mean, to me, it can be seen as a form of cheating, a plagiarism.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
I think that's mine.
But for me, like I brought it up because I was talking about AI creating this workshop for me. But what I did is I plugged in the type things that I want to talk about, and it helped me to kind of space it out and figure out how I want to do it. Because like I've been at workshops, I've been a co-facilitator, but I've never created one. And so I feel like this is a great kind of tool. It's an outline because the magic is going to come in how I nuance, how I bring the material. And so I think that's how it works best.
Yeah, I have a question for Jordan.
Oh.
yes.
So right now, there's been a lot of AI used to develop antibiotics, for example.
And that's really helpful for you.
Well, yeah, that's interesting. You should say that because it's for treatment resistant gonorrhea and chlamydia and stuff like that. I wasn't even making that joke. You know what? And if you have an STI, people listening, just get it treated.
No
You don't want to.
judgment,
Yeah,
no judgment.
No shame. Keep moving forward.
bitch. I know someone at this table's on Doxy.
Well, I take Doxy one.
And
right
why
after-
do you take it? Why do you take it?
I take it.
I was in a dungeon last night.
I take it as prescribed. I take it like they say, right up to 72 hours after you, up to 72 hours.
Yeah, I just didn't say you were abusing.
All I know is
Doxy.
if you need some acyclovir, I got you. I got you, bro. I got you.
I crush it up and snort it.
Yeah, but today's episode is called "Pills Not Thrills." pills, medications, and recovery. So there's a method to our madness.
Oh, I liked how you did that.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
It's so hashtag. I love it.
Yeah. And so, there are all types of different medications that people use in recovery. Some of them can be kind of controversial when we think about things like ketamine therapy or MDMA therapy. Then you have medically assisted treatment like Suboxone.
Wait, what about crystal meth therapy?
Is that the program you're on?
I've tried that therapy in many ways and it does not work. It does not work.
The problem is like I would take just the right amount, but then I need to take more because it felt so great.
Yeah. So there's like the most controversial, I think, would be right now would probably be Suboxone.
And what is Suboxone? What is it?
I'm getting there. Oh my God.
I love this. It's like you guys are getting me excited.
He's getting all warmed up.
Yeah. So Suboxone is a partial agonist. And what that means is that it activates the opioid receptors, but it doesn't do it to the extent that, say, like fentanyl or some other opioid would activate it. It also has a second drug in it that if you were to use an opioid, it cancels it out. I think that's how it works. The naltrexone, which is also in it. I'll make sure that that's all correct, but I know it's a partial agonist and it works on the opioid receptors. So the reason why it's controversial is because some people in the room would think like, well, you're still doing an opioid, right? Or you're on methadone. So it's not like you're actually sober, because you have some people in 12-step that are purists and they think that you shouldn't be on anything. And by extension of that, you also have people who are like, you shouldn't be on psychiatric medications, right? You shouldn't be, right? Because we should be, well, I don't know. What should we be?
And bless those people. Bless those people. Because I mean, unless you have psychiatric issues.
That's right.
I don't think you should be speaking on it. Because someone who, I mean, I have plenty of diagnoses. And yes, honey. And I know that for me in my recovery, my sponsor would always tell me your recovery comes before everything else. And we quickly had to have a conversation, because for me, I can't even maintain sobriety if I don't take my psych meds. Right. And so it's very much, they go hand in hand for me. And I have had a sponsee that was California sober. For those that don't know, that just means you stop everything and still smoke weed. For me, it's whatever you take as a doctor prescribes and whatever helps you to the end goal. That's how I look at it. I definitely know that I personally know some people that are very much purists. And as soon as I start, preaching the 12-step Bible, I walk away.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
the best thing to do.
Yeah.
But this would have been great for our conversation about harm reduction.
I mean, I think this is an extension of that, I think, right?
Absolutely.
If we're talking about harm reduction. I think the other thing that's really important to note here is that in 2021, the NIDA found that medically assisted treatment reduce overdose deaths by 50%.
Absolutely.
Right? So it does work.
Can we go back to Suboxone?
Yeah, sure.
Isn't it an alternative to methadone? Because methadone is really kind of destroying bodies.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like it was maybe a healthier or more
that part I don't remember. It's been a while since I've been a drug counselor.
Yeah.
I don't think methadone. I think methadone. I don't think it's a partial agonist, meaning that.
God, you're so smart.
I know.
Yeah. So I'll double check this, but I don't think it's a partial agonist. I think it's like a full agonist.
Yeah.
Meaning that like you're replacing the heroin with the methadone, and the methadone is also acting on the opioid receptors.
Yeah.
So
I'm very fascinated. I'm like,
but yeah, go ahead. I'm listening.
Wait, so Suboxone is not as antipsychotic?
It is not an antipsychotic.
Oh, okay. So what is it like generically used for?
Suboxone is used to reduce cravings.
Okay.
It's to reduce cravings, opioid cravings, to allow someone to like engage in recovery.
And that's different than naltrexone.
Naltrexone, I think, is a drug that's in it. So I have.
It's a cocktail.
No, naltrexone is a different. No, so naltrexone blocks opioid effects completely. So naltrexone is so you have an agonist, partial agonist. It's a antagonist. So meaning that if you were to take, if you had opioids in you, right, and you took the naltrexone, it would cancel it out.
That's like drinking milk.
You'd start vomiting, right?
When you're tweaking. It's like somebody said, don't drink milk because it's like,
or no. I think I said that wrong. If you take the naltrexone, your body won't respond to opioids.
You'll have like an actual, like somewhat violent reaction, won't you? Like throw up or something.
No,
like
you're
that?
thinking of Anabuse, I think.
Oh, okay.
and I think that with Anabuse, that's true with that, and I think it might also be true with Suboxone. See, I'm just kind of relying on my memory here. Now I feel like I should have
the fact that
done
you
better
have
research.
even slight memory.
But the point,
the name. That's all right.
The point is that like they're not like, we don't use them by themselves. Like whenever, for example, it comes into treatment and they're put on Suboxone or something, a medically assisted treatment, MAT, it's normally, you're assigned like a social worker or a therapist. You're put into a group
because it's not a long-term treatment. It's intended for from what I remember as a counselor, it's intended to like get you to an end goal of not being on it and kind of getting more stable, changing your behavior. So it gives you like the ability to kind of make other changes before you're ready to get off of that and then move forward, right?
Yeah, right. And the other thing that I forgot to mention was that naltrexone can also be used for alcohol abuse because it reduces the kind of reward that you would get from drinking.
All of these things sound like the commercials where it's like, and then they say, and this is that, rest this leg and all that stuff. And by the end, they go down, but it may cause blah, 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 blah.
Blindness, baldness.
Well, here's the other thing that I wasn't going to talk about this, but it's coming up for me now.
Please do.
GLP therapy. Is that what it's called? GLP? It's like Ozempic and all of those.
I'm glad you mentioned because I have a
You got some off the black market?
I know exactly. No, I have an orientation because I was talking to my doctor and I'm thinking about doing something.
Yeah. So what's interesting about GLP, there's studies that are coming out that show that it has reduced people's like addictive cravings. So like,
oh wow, I haven't heard
and
that.
alcohol and stuff like that. Yeah, it reduces cravings. So it's still not being prescribed for that, but they're like, it's a kind of secondary thing that we're finding.
Okay.
My doctor keeps trying to push it on me because I'm
going to say
pre-diabetic.
something like, don't do it. Because it's like, obviously it's like the program that they're talking about is like a combination of stuff. It wouldn't just be
yeah.
Okay.
Of course, that's why like as a general rule, being on medications by themselves, like that's not that isn't enough, right?
No,
like
exactly.
medications, the way I like to think about them is specifically around psychotropics. So psychotropics is just another way of saying like medications that help with your mental health. Is one way of describing it is like it takes the edge off, right? Like if you have severe depression, it reduces that so that you can actually get out of bed. So that,
and I'm glad you're saying that because a lot of people think you take the pill, the symptoms don't exist.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Not understanding that it just curves or allows you to move forward.
That's right.
With still symptoms. Because I know for me, I don't look it, and a lot of people are surprised that I still struggle like 20, 30 minutes every day to force myself to get out of bed, even on my psych meds.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And people are like, well, just take your meds. And it's like, no, the meds aren't a cure-all for the day. They help you navigate through it so that you can make it out the door, but it's not a cure-all.
Have you ever what kind of issues have you like come up against in like recovery around psych meds?
Well, I mean, I personally feel like I got really lucky with my sponsor. Right away, I was like, hey, I have mental health issues. And she was like, hey, as long as you're taking that as prescribed, let's work on it together. Because the thing, too, when I was out there using, I didn't take my meds. It was if I remembered. And then it was always, don't take them with drugs. But of course, I did take them with non-prescribed drugs.
Just to
boost the
wash it up with it.
Yeah, right? Wash down the, Lamictal with a little G to go down through there.
I'm also on Lamictal.
Yeah, and I mean, I've been on Lamictal since I got sober, and I've had it increased twice because I think, I've heard studies that as you get older, of course, some mental health issues progress. And so, but I mean, for the most part, I'm very happy with the medication. What I struggle with is I have a high tolerance of pain, and recently I've had a couple of ER visits, emergency visits, where I've had to have surgery, and I'm like, don't give me any narcotics. I'm a recovering addict. And my sponsor always reminds me, but as long as you take it prescribed, it's intended to help you.
Yeah.
My thing is that even with time, I'm always so weary of I know how easy it is to like fall into that. I've seen it happen.
That weary is kind of a blessing because
it is.
Like if I could see me very well, like if I've surgery or something where I know this is gonna come up, not communicating to anybody, not talking about it. But if you're talking about it, if you're putting it out there, because I know you will talk about it.
Yeah.
But I think that's give yourself that grace. That
I do.
That you are
one of the things that I always talk about when it comes to my shares is that even with time, I vividly still remember my last relapse.
Yeah.
And every time I even get an idea of using or doing something that's not necessarily good for me, that flash of that moment is still so vivid. I could still remember the exact feelings, what was happening, what I was wearing. It's still so alive in me that it keeps me on the, right and arrow. So
yeah, I love what you're saying about taking medications as prescribed. I think, we would get into trouble if like, you like hurt yourself and then you got put on this medication. That's great. I mean, that's not great that you got hurt, but it would,
what a masochist.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But like if, for example, you were like deliberately running into traffic so that you could go to the hospital so that you could get on meds, like that's a problem.
This sounds
but
like
I mean, even with the like recent doctor visits, I tell my circle. Because the thing too that I've learned, not just with like emergency stuff, but in general, again, because medication is not a cure all.
Right.
Sometimes I can catch when I'm being super manic. Sometimes I can't. But I feel like because I've talked about it for so many years with my friends, they're helping me by being like, hey, you're acting out of sorts. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't realize it. I am super manic. And then I'm able to put in place these things that I've been doing for the last 11 years to kind of curve the side effects of being manic. But I definitely believe that first of all, your recovery should not necessarily look like mine. It should be your recovery, and it should look whatever that's between you, your higher power, and your sponsor. I'm not here to judge as long as you don't show up nodding or anything to a meeting because of being respectful. But other than that, like you do your program, and as long as again you're moving forward towards your end goal, I think it's all good.
And this is the other thing is that when you're in a 12-step or any recovery community, none of those motherfuckers are your doctor.
Not at all.
Right? Like that is between you and your physician, your PCP.
Your PCP?
Primary care provider. Goodness.
It's between you and your PCP.
That's what they mean by PCP.
Superman out.
Yeah, and that information is like it's no one's business.
You treat it,
but I find
it like your spirituality.
But I find it so interesting how many people I've run into the rooms that are so scared to be open and like share that part about themselves because they're scared to be judged by those, 12-step thumpers that are so rigid.
Well, that's why I'm always like, some of the work that we do in recovery is getting to a place where of acceptance. And that acceptance includes, this is how I'm showing up to my recovery.
Yep.
And some people are not going to appreciate it.
Yeah.
But it's like, I have to get to a place. First, I have to understand these are the reasons, my motives for doing it. If my motives are pure, if I'm doing it because I'm searching and reaching for recovery, and this is the only avenue that I get, then all that other stuff is just fluff and noise,
Yeah, and if I truly care about you, I want, again, your end goal to be successful. So whatever it takes to get you there.
And if I'm focusing on what I need to focus on, I'm not focusing on you.
Exactly.
And I'm just here to love you through whatever. But because I think, honestly, those folks that are getting all up in your stuff is that they're not getting up in their stuff.
Yeah. I appreciate
Say that. Go ahead, Jordan.
So I work in hospice.
Yes, you do.
So I have a patient right now who has been in recovery for a few years and he's dying. And he had very beginning, it's like, I don't want to take any meds. I don't want any of this like narcotic. I don't want anything.
Not to interrupt you, but just to make sure that I'm understanding. So hospice is still like when there's no, like you're literally.
Yeah, you have 6 months or less to live.
Yeah, it's comfort care.
And so he said, I don't want any of the narcotics, like it goes against my program.
Yeah.
And so I like, okay, what's your plan? Like, what are we doing? Right. So I think just knowing and going off it's your program. It's this guy's program, right? I'm not there to say, oh, you need to take it. We're prescribing it, so it's okay. Like I'm not okaying or trying to convince him otherwise. I'm just like, all right, as long as you're confident in your program, right, and you have a plan for in case, right? Then like, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the added layer here is too, is like, if we think about like LGBT plus people, queer folks, this is a community that, we have like higher rates of like mental health issues, like higher rates of suicide, higher rates of like PTSD and things like that. And so already, we're kind of, we're starting at like with a disadvantage, right? And so we know, for example, that if someone has untreated mental illness and they're in recovery, they are much more likely to relapse.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, suffice it to say that like when then you add like people's judgment to that makes it that much more difficult, right? And then spaces feel like not safe.
Which is sad. And I think that's one of the reasons why I personally am very vocal and very open about my mental health and what I'm going through. Sometimes I have been told you're sharing too much. And I'm like, it's not for you, it's for me.
Who told you that, Louis?
That's what it's I would not.
Louis brought his own timer to the meeting.
You're done.
I would not say that.
But I just find it so ridiculous.
Yeah.
I really do. I mean, I found out I had severe mental health issues when I went into rehab this last time and got diagnosed, right? And honestly, I have been trying to get sober since I was 20? And it wasn't until I found out I had mental health issues and addressed those that I was actually able to be in a space where I was like, I need to get sober. I need to change my behaviors. I need something different.
Yeah.
And so again, for me, getting psychiatric care allowed me and gave me the ability to then move forward with recovery. And I honestly don't think I'd be here if I wasn't treating my mental health, right?
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful. But yeah, for me, it's literally they go hand in hand.
Yeah. I really appreciate what you're saying about like speaking up about it, because like, for example, I get a little nervous about like talking about my own mental health stuff. Like in recovery spaces, I think I'm much more comfortable, but it's almost like, and I'm a clinical psychologist. I'm surrounded by people who, right. And I'm afraid of sometimes talking about it in those spaces because, I once had a mentor say, don't you ever share with anyone any of your own stuff, like your own mental health stuff, like if you're on meds or anything like that.
It's understandable.
Yeah. I mean, but is it because
it's like, I think we've talked about it on episodes, past episodes where, we talk about it in the past episodes where you don't know how people's motives are.
But it's not. It shouldn't be about what other people's motives are.
I don't mean. I'm talking about in a work setting, not recovery, but in the work setting.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the workplace.
It shouldn't.
At
be.
my job, again, I guess it depends on context, right? I am bipolar, borderline schizophrenic, right? And there are times when, again, I even take my meds and I'm so out of sorts. I'm so manic. I go into the office and I tell my boss, hey, jefe, listen, I'm super manic today. I can only do two things and focus on only two things. And this is what it is.
Not the subtitles. Yeah. This is what it is. Go ahead.
And I think I do that for myself because I don't want there to be assumptions about why all of a sudden my work may differ or because again, I'm also an addict. And so in my mind, I always have that internal struggle of I'm everything, but I'm not enough, And so for me, it's always that internal struggle added with my mental health. So I'm very open. I'm not saying that everybody should. Again, it's all context. But for me, my mental health issues can hinder my ability to do my job to a certain degree. And so I feel like it's not everybody at work knows I'm crazy.
You're not crazy.
And first of all, I say that with love because it's one of those words for me that I say it with trying to take the power back. Yeah. I don't think that being crazy should limit you or, you should feel shame about it. I use that word for myself. I love that word. I've taken, all the shame and all the negative things people have said about it and made it my own, right? I am crazy and I know that at times it can limit my ability to interact with the world. So again, in order for me to still meet my end goal of having a successful life, I make sure that certain people around me, whether in meetings or at work, know what's going on.
Yeah. And I think we want to go ahead, Jordan, you were going to say something.
My question was like, that must have taken time to get to the place you're at now.
Yes.
What steps did you take? What did you do differently?
So one of the things that really, because again, I feel like the more tools you can add to your box, the better, right? For me, it was taking my meds, going to meetings, and then trying out different therapies. One of my favorites is DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy.
Wait, the electrical?
No, dialectical.
Oh, DBT.
Yes.
Yeah. Dialectical.
Did my accent get you?
No. Okay. First of all.
Oh my goodness.
So first of all, we're both Spanish speakers.
Wow, que liosa. But like for me, again, I think depending, like I also did a lot of research on my specific mental health issues so that I could have, again, more tools to deal with it. And DBT worked for me because when I'm manic, I need to focus and center myself. So I do a lot of touch therapy. I count. So again, for me, a lot of the tools are just things that I sought and researched on my own, but then I also asked people that I trusted in recovery, like my sponsor, right? The other thing that I do is that it just slowly were behaviors that I taught myself. My biggest rule when I'm manic to the point where I don't feel safe, I stick to safe places and safe people. And that's what I started doing year one. And I still do that to this day. When I wake up and I take my meds and I still feel like, I go straight to work, leave work, I come home, and that's it. I won't even go to a meeting because, again, for those that don't know, I'm on the hyper of mania. And so
bipolar 1.
Yeah. And so for me, any little thing can make it even worse. And so I get easily overwhelmed. I have impulse control issues when I'm super manic. And so again, it's just behavior that I've like talked with my sponsor, did my research on, talked to my therapist and like medical professionals and just other people that have similar issues and tried something. Oh, that worked. So let me keep doing it. And I've been doing a lot of that for the last 11 years. And it really has changed the quality of my life. But I'm like, take as many resources as you can and learn what works for you. Again, I am as happy as I've ever been in my whole life, even as a kid. And at first everything was a chore, of course, right? But now it's like, it's just second nature. It's just something that I've learned that I know that keeps me safe. And so I just keep moving forward with what works.
And what I'm hearing and what you're saying is like one day at a time.
Well, my biggest motto is 24.
24 what? Day hours?
24 seconds, 24 minutes. One of the things that really helped me when it came to meditating in early recovery was I think it was either my sponsor or someone in our circle was like, remember the number 24. And I'm like, well, why? And she's like, 12 steps, 12 traditions. If you get stressed, count to 24 seconds. If that doesn't work, count for 24 minutes. If that doesn't help, remember that there's only 24 hours in a day. And so everything's temporary. What you're going through right now won't necessarily be there tomorrow. Yeah. And if it is, you'll also be in a different headspace. So you might be able to approach it differently. For me, it's funny, the little things that I hear there and here, like in the rooms, but also out in like the world, I take it and practice it. And if it works for me, I do it.
That's awesome. With the last few minutes that we have, there's, I think what you're doing, like just speaking so openly about it, that is how we destigmatize mental health. Absolutely. Mental health, like seeking mental health treatment, being on medications, right? It's by having these like open and honest conversations about them. And that does take a level of risk. And I'm not suggesting to people that like, oh, everyone who like has mental health issues should be taking that risk.
Yeah. You got to find what works for you.
Yeah. You have to find what works for you.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I wanted to say is that when we talk about things like liberation or like freedom, that comes when we're able to say things out loud, right? Like if we think about those moments when we aren't sharing things because of shame or because of guilt or anything like that, that is the exact opposite of liberation.
Yeah.
Right. And so this, I think you're such a beautiful example of like what that can look and feel like. And I'm also just like really impressed with like all the different tools that you use, like the meditation, the counting, the self-care, right? Like that's the stuff that is so necessary. And that all of that too, like translates to recovery, right? Like you have to do exactly the same things in recovery.
My main focus with sponsees, I only work with sponsees that have mental health issues.
Yeah.
And like I really, because again, it may not appear to others, but I always feel like this chaos in my brain daily, even with my meds. And so for me, when I was ready to sponsor people, I really had to have a conversation of what can I bring to the table. And it was really my perspective and my experience with my mental health issues. So I solely focus with sponsees that have mental health issues.
That's awesome.
And so,
yeah, that's really, really awesome. So with that, we're going to land the plane.
Ooh.
Yeah,
So the Castro Country Club is a safe and sober community center for all people and a refuge for the LGBTQ recovery community.
Yes, queen.
We
Tell me about it.
Dale.
we provide programs and services that help change lives by supporting personal growth.
And our vision is to reduce the suffering of addiction by connecting people to community opportunity and support.
Yeah.
You can find more information, including all the ways to contact us at www.castrocountryclub.org/podcast.
And catch new episodes every Monday when Brandon releases them.
Oh my goodness.
No tea, no shade, no lemonade.
Hey. All